Welcome to Eye on the Tigers News. I'm Shannon Michaelis. Thanks for finishing your week with us for the news we've been watching for you. President Donald Trump acknowledged Thursday it, quote, certainly looks, end quote, as though missing Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi is dead, and he threatened, quote, very severe, end quote, consequences if the Saudis are found to have murdered him. His warning came from the administration toughened its response to a disappearance that has sparked global outrage. Before Trump spoke, the administration announced that Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin had pulled out of a major upcoming Saudi investment conference, and a U.S. official said Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had warned the Saudi Crown Prince that his credibility as a future leader is at stake. Pompeo said the Saudis should be given a few more days to finish and make public a credible investigation before the U.S. decides, quote, how or if to respond. Trump's comments, however, signaled an urgency in completing the probe into the disappearance of the journalist, last seen entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd. President Trump praised a Republican congressman for body-slamming a reporter last year, calling him a, quote, tough cookie, end quote, and saying he thinks it might have helped him win the election in Montana. At a campaign rally in Missoula Thursday, Trump landed Representative Greg Gianforte, who pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault for an attack on Guardian reporter Ben Jacobs. The attack came a day before Gianforte won a 2017 special election to serve the remaining 18 months in the House term vacated by now Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. His remarks praising Gianforte come amid an international furor over the apparent assassination of a Washington Post columnist who had allegedly had his fingers cut off and was decapitated inside a Saudi consulate in Istanbul 2 weeks ago. As some 3,000 Hondurans made their way through Guatemala, attention turned to Mexico after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened Thursday to close the U.S.-Mexican border if authorities there fail to stop them, a nearly unthinkable move that would disrupt hundreds of thousands of legal freight, vehicle, and pedestrian crossings each day. With less than 3 weeks before the November 6th midterm elections, Trump seized on the migrant caravan to make a border security a political issue and energize his Republican base. The threat followed another one earlier this week to cut off aid to Central American countries if the migrants weren't stopped. Trump made a similar vow over another large migrant caravan in April, but didn't follow through and it largely petered out in Mexico. Federal prosecutors have opened an investigation of child sexual abuse by Roman Catholic priests in Pennsylvania, using subpoenas to demand secret files and testimony from high-ranking leaders in what victims' advocates say is the first such probe ever launched by the U.S. Justice Department. The subpoenas, served last week, follow a scathing state grand jury report over the summer that found that 301, quote, predator priests, end quote, in Pennsylvania had molested more than 1,000 children over 7 decades and that church leaders had covered up for the offenders. The intervention by the federal government opens a new front of legal peril for the Catholic Church, given that investigations into sexual abuse by clergy members have historically been handled exclusively by state and local authorities. The Buffalo Diocese was also among the subpoenas. Despite the terrible odds, 1 in 302.5 million for those keeping score at home, someone will eventually match all 6 numbers and win the Mega Millions jackpot, which now stands at $970 million, the second largest prize in history. It could happen as soon as Friday night when the next drawing is held. And what if you win? Lottery officials recommend winners take a deep breath, put their winning ticket in a safe spot, and consult with a reputable financial planner before popping over to the lottery headquarters. Their first decision is whether to take the cash option, which would now be $548 million, or an annuity, with one initial payment in annual installments over 29 years. Nearly all winners opt for cash, but the annuity has advantages, as it reduces the tax bill a little and offers the stable flow of income that climbs by 5% annually. Winter looks wet and especially mild for much of the country, thanks to a weak El Nino brewing, U.S. meteorologists said. The National Weather Service on Thursday predicted a warmer than normal winter for the northern and western 3/4 of the nation. The greatest chance for warmer than normal weather is in Alaska, the Pacific Northwest, Montana, northern Wyoming, and western North Dakota. No place in the United States is expected to be colder than normal, according to the Government Climate Prediction Center. Lake Ontario will play a key player in our weather. The warmer lake waters could mean more lake snow for us. We've had some winter-like weather this morning with the season's first hard frost. What can we expect for the weekend? Here's Kira with the forecast.
We did have have a hard frost this morning after skies cleared out overnight. The sun quickly went to work and we'll see highs today in the low 60s. A great day. But don't get used to it. Showers come in the late tonight and temperatures will fall. Saturday will feature on and off rain showers with a steady wind. It will be a raw day. Showers stick around Saturday evening. The clouds stick around for Sunday and the temperatures still fall. We'll be lucky to get out of the 30s on Sunday. And with a steady breeze, it will feel quite cold. A longer range view shows cool temps and wet weather as we start a new week. That's the forecast. I'm Kiara. Have a great weekend.
The Red Sox are on their way back to the World Series. Here's Michaela with sports.
What a birthday present for rookie manager Alex Cora. He's taking the Boston Red Sox back to the World Series. David Price put his own postseason woes behind him, pitching the Red Sox past the defending champion Houston Astros 4-1 Thursday night in Game 5 of the AL Championship Series. Next stop for the 108-win Red Sox is Fenway Park for the World Series opener Tuesday night against either the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Milwaukee Brewers. Those two will continue the series tonight. But before leaving Minute Maid Park, the Red Sox surrounded the 43-year-old Cora in the clubhouse and heartily sang Happy Birthday. Wearing goggles and championship gear, the team saluted the first manager from Puerto Rico to lead the team to the World Series. The Lady Tigers soccer season came to an end after a second-round 3-0 loss to top seed Holland Patton last night. After playing evenly for much of the first half, Mexico couldn't overcome a couple corner kick goals and a penalty kick. The team advanced to the second round after a 1-0 win on Tuesday against General Brown. The Syracuse Orange will try to right the ship tomorrow when it hosts North Carolina. The team has dropped its last two in heart-breaking fashion to Clemson and then Pittsburgh. They'll try to take advantage of last week's bye to regroup and to continue its push of qualifying for the bowl game. Kickoff is at noon, and the game can seem to be on Channel 3 locally. And finally, in NFL, the Bills travel to Indianapolis, the Jets hosting the Vikings, and the Giants take on the Falcons on Monday. That's a quick look for your sports. I'm Kayla. Have a great weekend.
Over 1,000 shirts were collected to benefit students from Harrell's Academy in North Carolina who were affected by Hurricane Florence. Today concludes the Mexico Cares shirt drive. Mexico Idol will take place on October 23rd. Tickets are $5 pre-sale and $7 at the door. See any contestant for a ticket. And finally, get your Jostens yearbook for the $45 pre-sale price online at jostens.com. That's all for us this week. I'm Shannon. We all hope you have a great weekend. See you next week.